Hey, what's up, guys? Matt's here for his Fire Fist deck profile.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is my Fire Fist deck. It's been doing pretty well lately, so yeah, just get right into it. So to begin, we got our Triple Bear. Pretty standard, really. It's the plus machine, can destroy monsters, search things. Uh, so on top of that, we got our Triple Wolf Bark. Again, pretty standard. I've seen some people run him at 2, but the idea is he's really good. He's an instant XYZ and mid to late game, or even in the beginning when just after you got one in the grave, you can use him to get your Tiger Kings, just make rank 4 plays in general. So you need to run 3 of him, or at least 2. You got 1 Gorilla for back row removal, just the extra monster. In some cases, he is better than Bear just because you can run over the monster and then you get the search instead of having to do damage. But generally you run Bear more, but Gorilla is just nice to have in case you need to remove that spell or trap, that sort of thing. This is my Triple Dragon. This is the one that people have been cutting lately for the +1 build that's been kind of popular lately. You only run like Triple Wolf Bar, Triple Bear, and then 1 Gorilla, and then the rest is draw power. But I think this card's too good, honestly. I think he's at least a +1 at the very least, just by activating something you can plus off of him. And if people leave him on the field, you can just keep on doing that. You can set traps because of him, and if he stays on the field long enough, you might actually get to see a second effect, which is where you can send 2 to Reborn 1, and in that case, there's going to be a lot of plussing. And I think he's an 1800 beater at the very least, which is more than pretty much every other monster in this deck. And actually, I found that more relevant than I thought I would in a lot of cases. So, I think this card's just too good to cut, and I actually did try the +1 build for a while, and I actually didn't like it, and for the main reason is because of not having Dragon's Effect and not being able to set the traps, that sort of thing. But yeah, so this card for me is just, he's a winner in my opinion. And then last for the monsters is 2 Veiler, because everything's effects nowadays. I run 2 Veiler and Triple Chain just because, I don't like effects at all. I want to make sure that I can stop their plays in their tracks. And it's also good for the mirror in case you do run in that. You want to Veiler the Bear, you want to Veiler the Tiger King, that sort of thing. So now onto the spells. Triple Tanky, pretty standard. Double Tensu. I've seen a lot of builds either cut or just run 1 Tensu. I like 2, mainly because sometimes if I need to, I use Bear's Effect to pop 1 and to destroy 1. And then I'm only left with 1 in the deck. I don't want to be using Cardinal or anything like that to return a Tensu. I want to be returning Tankies or other Fire Fist monsters. So I like 2. It gives me that kind of security just in case I do, end up sending one of these. And of course, it's another card to set off Dragon's Effect. On top of that, I got Double Gyoku. This card is really good. I like this card a lot. Because a lot of decks nowadays run a lot of back row, and you just want to be able to put a stop to as much of that as possible. Back row is pretty much everyone's enemy. So, being able to do this to one of their back row pretty much renders it useless, and it's, a dead spot on their field. So, it just stops a lot of your opponents in their tracks, and it's just really disruptive. So, got to run 2 of these. And on to non-Fire Fist spells, Triple MST, pretty standard. Double Lance, really good in this deck. It allows Bear to get over things, and just in addition to making him immune to a Deep Prison or Mirror Force, that sort of thing. You do run into a lot of those, so just having this in your hand is really nice. And I did get creature swapped, and this also came in handy when I was playing against Lancer Frogs once. So this is the extra side note. Triple Duality. This card's really good in this deck. It's one of the most balanced cards out there in addition, but this deck doesn't really special summon a lot. It doesn't need to. Besides Wolfbark, Duality really helps. It thins the deck out. It makes it more consistent. So I like 3. Some people can run 2, but it's really personal opinion. Then I run, Triple Hoban. Yeah, it's Triple Hoban. It makes the deck better. That's pretty much it. And then the 1 book. I don't run Dark Hole. If I were going to do anything with it, I'd side it. I've seen a lot of decks that can recover from Dark Hole pretty easily nowadays, which is kind of scary. In my opinion, I don't think it's something I'd want to main. And especially since I'm only running, I think, 12 monsters, I don't want to be Dark Holing my own field. If I have, sometimes I might, and if I do that, then usually, I'd rather not. It's just because I don't have enough monsters to be able to recover from it. And in terms of traps, I run triple Tensin. This is the reason that I like this build more than the +1 build. The +1 does not run this card, and I think that's kind of a mistake. I've seen so many people get really, really angry from me chaining this in the damage step and running over their monster. And you can, if they attack with anything below like 26, you chain it when they attack your bear, and then he's up to 26, and then they run into it, and he gets his search, and that's just setting you up for your next turn. So I think this card's really good. If I were to change anything, I might turn one of these into a Tenkin, just because it's a searchable lance. So that's kind of cool. But other than that, I mean, I'm really happy with this card. And plus it also gets over the big beaters. I mean, things that throw out lots of them, like Mermails, that sort of thing. So then on top of that, I got Fiendish Chain. Again, everything's effects nowadays, so you gotta run triple chain. And then for my staples, I just run these three. I mean, they're just too good not to run, so that's pretty much it. Then we got my extra deck. Run triple Tiger King. He's also a plus machine. Just summoning him gets you a set from the deck. You can usually set your Tankies to search more, set your Tensu to summon anything. I mean, again, he's really good. And in some cases, his effect actually does, like his negation effect also comes in really handy if you're facing sometimes his end mains now. Or even a Dracossack. I know in some games I've negated a Dracossack effect and then popped it with Bear, so that's really nice. I mean, he gets around a lot of things. So, I mean, you got to run 3 of him. Then I got 2 Cardinal. This is a really, really powerful card, I think. Especially against decks that rely on certain cards being in their grave. You can just return them and it just totally shuts your opponent down. And then besides that, it can get rid of things on the field. I know in one situation I played against a friend of mine, and he Recklessed, and he had 2 cards on the field, and then I used Cardinal, returned the 2 cards, and he pretty much went 2 turns without cards in general. So that was kind of funny. So this card's really good, and plus, I mean, the addition of it being able to return, a Tanky and a Bear, or 2 Tankies, or anything back to your deck is also really awesome. So I like this card a lot too. And on to just some more staple XYZs. We got 1 Arc. I mean, one of the best cards in the, one of the best XYZs in the game right now, because it can eat anything that's been special summoned, which is going to be pretty much any XYZ monster your opponent uses, unless it's a Maestro, which is in defense, or Zen mains. Yeah, in my opinion, he's pretty much like a Maestro that eats things. Then we got Black Ship. Again, another good card that can send things like Zen mains or an Arc Knight, or, well, I should say Honor's Arc, to the grave. And it just gets around things that avoid destruction, which is really good. Cowboy, because Cowboy burned for game. I did it a couple times in a few games that I tested, so it's pretty good. Then I got Maestro, it's because he's a book, and he avoids destruction, so he can stall out if he needs to. So another good one. Diamond Direwolf, because sometimes you got those big monsters that are problems, and in this deck where you've been a lot of Beast Warriors, that can actually be more useful. It's because he doesn't have to destroy himself sometimes, but he's usually used that way. So Abyss Dweller, it shuts down Mermails, Dark Worlds, anything that relies on the grave. Photon Pappy, just because, well, especially with Dracossack tokens, you can get into direct effect, direct attack essentially. It gets around things that have high defense. Pretty useful in that. And then a Crazy Box, because I don't like skill drain, and this poops on things with skill drain sometimes, and it's kind of funny. And then I got my Catastrophe just to use with Valor with one of my monsters in case I do have a big problem monster and I don't really have an out right there. Catastrophe can get around pretty big beaters, which can really be a problem for this deck, even if I don't have a Tensin or anything set, or a Bear to pop something to destroy something. This card can't come in really, come in handy. So yeah, that's my profile of Fire Fist. I like the deck a lot, really. I think it's one of the best decks out there right now, right next to Mermails. And I think it's a really good deck, and just shoot me any ideas if you have any questions or comments.
Yeah, if you guys like the video, throw us a like. If you have any questions or comments, throw them in the comment section below. For now, Team Deepos Gaming signing out.